Happened at 5 p.m. in India today. Just 2 days back, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had asked the citizens of India to clap at the same time at 5 p.m. for all the tireless work that was done by the corona workers. And citizens did respond. They also have been following the Janta curfew, as Narendra Modi calls it, a full day's curfew, not to step out of their house. And I'm sure they've done it out of their own conscience. There have been many, like the English cricketer Kevin Peterson, asking for people to stand in unison in this difficult time. Even many cricketers like the Indian captain Virat Kohli had asked its citizens of India to support the Prime Minister. But I'm quite sure that the voice of the Prime Minister was good enough. People would do it nevertheless, irrespective of any suggestions coming from any quarter. In this age and era, you find many so-called coronavirus gurus having erupted. Many people suddenly seem to be having and knowing everything about coronavirus. They are talking about how it originated, how long it will last, and the path that it is going to take, how many are going to die and where. You see graphs all over in various television, TV channels, showing the path that it's going to tread. Some feel that unless social distancing is there will be so many deaths. Some say if there is social distancing, then there will be so many deaths. They are all so-called coronavirus gurus have erupted all over. I would suggest that do understand, firstly, that coronavirus has something which is good for the mankind as well. You must have noticed of late, terrorist activities have reduced quite substantially. In fact, it is said that ISIS had asked its members not to travel to London on fear of coronavirus spreading. So it has got some advantages. However, I do understand it is very disheartening for people to be working from home, sitting in their pajamas and video conferencing with their fellow comrades who are also sitting in pajamas in their own homes. And people are finding it extremely difficult to believe that their life, which was at a fast pace, has suddenly slowed down. I would say that people do not understand what coronavirus really is and why it has come. There is a philosophical intent behind this pandemic. The mankind you saw all over the world was hastening at such a rapid pace that at some day a slowdown was expected. You see the rising levels of pollution in China, in India, in many of the emerging economies was growing at such a rapid pace. It was extremely difficult for people to breathe in many of these countries. So now you find that businesses have come to a standstill. The air is fresh as never before. So there is a certain advantage in slowing down economic growth. However, if you have so many people facing lockdowns, that there is a negative side to this as well. And that is what I call the economic impact. I believe at some point of time, if these lockdowns continue in the major cities in United States like New York, Illinois, California, in Mumbai, in London, in Paris, in Tokyo, then at some point of time people are going to get very, very worried about the loss of economic activity and incomes. And that is something which nobody seems to be bothering about at this point of time. Yes, health definitely comes first, but at certain point of time, people are going to be rather frustrated with their loss of incomes. It is definitely all right for many people who are working on regular pay their bosses are definitely going to pay them for the time that they are out of work or working from home, as they would like to be called. Yet, at some point of time, even the people, the companies who are paying such salaries have to earn from some place. Now, if certain amount of time passes and they cannot earn enough to be able to pay, or if the productivity of their employees is going down because of working from home, it is more than likely that there might be a cut in jobs, and job losses could be quite substantial, I would say. So one must definitely take this into consideration, that the economic curtailment of economic activity is going to lead to job losses sooner or later. So what is the trade-off? What should you go for? Should you go for the fighting the coronavirus? Yes, but at the same time, there is an economic loss which definitely has to be taken into cognizance. Health definitely comes first, but that's where the trick is. You try and curtail the epidemic in a very clever manner, without many lockdowns, without disrupting economic activity to the maximum extent. So, economic activity can only be curtailed to a small extent, and you have to do this whole exercise very trickily. And the politicians are going to be tested very heavily in this entire process. The more you lock down, the worse it can get, because after some time, if people start losing their jobs and incomes, there's going to be a lot of social unrest, economic unrest, which I believe is going to become very difficult for the politicians to handle in the next few months. As to how long this virus can last, I would say that first of all, do understand that I'm sure you guys are enjoying the banana chips at home, working out of home. But there might also be a point of time when the epidemic may be over and you may be asked to return back to home, but you may not want to, because eating banana chips you may have become so heavy that you may find it difficult to walk out to your office. Anyway, that's on a lighter note. On a strictly important note, I would also like to add that this virus is going to last as long as human mankind realizes the need that you cannot play with nature all the time. You may think this is on a philosophical note, but this is extremely important. As long as you realize that you must respect nature and cannot go on doing things just at your own will and without paying your respects and obeisance to Mother Nature, you will find the virus will continue. The moment people realize it is not just by getting the vaccines, but by this realization that coronavirus is going to get cured. I believe there might be a little slowdown coming up over the middle of April, and you may see some more slowdown around middle of June. But for the entire vaccine to be discovered well, approved by US FDA, by other government authorities, and for it to have full-fledged commercial application, I'm sure we are looking at a few months, even up to September from now. But I still believe that the way to tackle and treat and fight coronavirus is to realize that there are different ways of doing things. Do things with least amount of damage to Mother Nature. The more people realize this, the more they go inside and realize that the way we do things is not just for ourselves but for others as well. That will be the day when coronavirus will be cured. Happy investing, and do realize that those industries, those companies which have been socially responsible will come out even stronger. These will recharge, these will rebound faster than other companies who have not realized their social responsibility. So after this pandemic is over also, you will find that the companies that will emerge stronger from the coronavirus battle will be those who either have been socially responsible or who have gone back, learned the lessons from coronavirus, and who have gone back and become more socially responsible. Happy investing. Take care.